What's going on, world? What's going on? You already know who it is. It's your girl, FlyTyThePromoter. The promoter that helps you earn up and turn up at the same damn time. And yes, we are now hosting one of the top podcasts out right now, and it's Big Moves Podcast. And guys, if you don't know what Big Move Podcast represent, I'm bringing all of the movers and shakers in your city, your town, your country, and we're gonna get them on the couch with me and basically let everybody know why are they the big movers and the shakers, and why should people in the community know them, respect them, and go with them, right? So, and we're gonna grow with all the leaders in our community, but we have one right now, guys. And if you haven't seen episode number 1, I'm gonna need you to go click somewhere on this video and watch episode number 1, because we just starred Darius Benders from Atlanta, Georgia, a multimillionaire out there. So now we in episode number 2, and we're bringing you the best of the best. And I have been waiting for this moment. I'm excited for this moment, y'all. I'm honored to be sharing the same space with this gentleman right here. He's been moving and shaking in multiple cities, and most importantly, Vegas, and that's exactly where we are right now. We're in Vegas right now. We had to link up with the one and only Reverend Minister Stretch. Man.
Thank you. Listen,
man, it's good to have you on the couch.
I gotta have you introduce me when I go out. Thank you. Listen, it's an honor to truly be here and to share space and time. I was so excited. I don't think I've been so excited in a long time.
I'm honored to have you on the couch, because I text you and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if you were gonna be like, I got X, Y, and Z, because you are doing a lot in the city of Las Vegas. So I'm honored to have you here. Well,
it was in the book of Big Mama. We got the Bible and we got the book of Big Mama. It was in the book of Big Mama 2 and 3, that says we make time for what's important.
Yes.
And so this is truly important. And I learned many years ago, we can't take for granted that people want to sit with us and people want to share some of the good things we're doing, because when folks put their names on us in a negative way, everybody run into that. We prioritize that. We put energy into that.
Right.
But when somebody wants to, share space in a positive way, we move slow. And that's nothing but ego. And so we always want to be grateful for any time somebody wants to, hear from us. It really is an honor, So I was super excited. I've been watching you from afar.
Man,
and so I'm just grateful,
crazy.
for the moment to be able to be
that
with
is
you.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And it is an honor to know that you've been actually watching. But before we get into anything of any movement, activism, leadership, I want the world to know, who are you? Who is the guy behind the camera? Who is Mr. Sanders?
So Mr. Sanders, is a husband to Kendall. I'm a father to Stoney and Stevie. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a person that can be goofy, but I know when to be serious.
Right.
I'm a historian. I'm an avid researcher. And most importantly, I'm just a servant. I think that people sometimes think that those in leadership are just like subhuman. I cry the same tears. I have the same pain. My blood gonna look the same. You know what I'm saying? So all the human things we go through, I'm just the same person. I think the difference between myself and many others is just the calling I have.
Right.
It's not better. It's not less than. It's just different. But my heart is for people. My heart is for black people. I want to see black people free. I have no issue with no other community, but my ministry and my mission is 99.9% geared to those that look like us. I think if Jesus is walking the earth right now, he will be crying tears when he sees the condition that black people are living in. Wow. So my focus and my mission is to uplift black people, black trans, black LGBTQ, black old, black young. If you black, I got your back.
I like that. If you black, I got
mission.
your back.
But I love all humanity, because I believe that, when you uplift one, you uplift all. Right. But somebody has to be the one to speak out genuinely to the plight of the black man and the black woman. So that's my background. I've been doing this work for 12 years. I got called at a very young age. I was 19 years old, and I'm now 31. So as they say,
I want to speak about that. I want to speak about that. What situation led you to be Minister Sanders? Like what happened in your life that you just said, I want to not only just fight for my culture, I want to actually stand for my culture and go through all different obstacles that you've been through and to protect us. What moment, like Like, who does that? Like, who wakes up and just say, I just want to protect.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not saying that there's not a lot of Dr. Martins out there and Malcolms, but, you know, like, what was your story? Because we know their story, but now you're walking in the footsteps and you're basically leading the way for our people out here in Vegas, and you're doing a damn good job.
Thank you. Man, what a great, I've never been asked that question. What a great question. You know, it's funny because people think that. People think.
You had to wake up. You woke up like that.
They
You woke up like this, Beyonce.
And they talk to us like, you should be doing. I'm like, it's just not, it don't work like that. We can't just, when you're spirit-led, it's really spirit-led, right? So to go back, you know, when I moved to Las Vegas, you know, I did what most youngsters do. You know, you get involved, you dibby and dab. And then when I was 19, I got finessed, is the word I used, to go to a church conference to support my mom. She backs out because she didn't get her PTO.
Finessing people at the church.
You know, they
finessing people to come to church?
So, you know, the finesse move was mom got invited.
Okay.
I go to support her. She has to back out because her PTO got denied. The pastor's like, well, your son, 19, he can go. And I was like, I don't even know y'all, first of all. Second of all, I was only going to support moms. So mom's like, go ahead and go and represent both of us. I'm like, what? So I go. I'm in a hotel room with the pastor's son. He was like 10 years older than me at the time. He randomly busts out, man, have you ever been baptized? And one thing led to another. He pretty much dared me. He's like, I dare you then. He's like, well, what's the worst? It's water. Worst can the worst.
Right.
You come out and you feel different. Now go back doing your thing.
They finessed you for real.
So I did it. And honestly, I really felt like my life was changed. And so, you know, I decided to kind of dig into the scripture. And ironically, the first scripture I kind of found on my own flipping through Proverbs was a scripture talking about help the oppressed, help the needy, crush the oppressor. And I was like, because these are the scriptures we're going to talk about. It's a lot of lovey-dovey. We're going to talk about the scriptures that talk, literally, there are 2,000 scriptures in the Bible that talk about helping the poor, the needy, fighting for those, helping the orphans. And so I said, okay, wow. And so I always say in 7 months, God took me from a person that was, you know, almost on the verge. I was in college, but I was almost contemplating with the idea of doing very, very much things that's out of my character. One being potentially pimping. I mean, it was a lot of things going through my mind at the time. You're the first to get this. Nobody asked me that question.
We getting the exclusive.
Nobody ever cares about my background. They just always want to start now. So
no, I want to know about the pimping. That is, we coming back to the pimping.
So yeah, that was a thought I was flirting with, and from there, I say from 7 months, he took me from a wannabe, you know, thinking I was going to try that lifestyle, to, you know, preaching, and just in 7 months. And my old pastor at the time, it was her. She said, I feel a call of ministry on you. So she asked me to pray on it and give it some thought. And between that, that's May of 2014. June of 2014, we're going through the whole thing with Mike Brown. So I get involved in the movement, and I'm studying like Dr. King and different leaders. And then that December is when I started getting into the ministry. So I kind of pulled the two together. So that same year, I got, you know, into the church and I got into the community. And I'm grateful I did it the way. I'm glad I got saved first, then got into the community, because if I didn't, they'd have got a whole different minister stretch. But it took me to realize, it helped me accountable to realize that if you're going to call yourself a man of any, or woman of any faith, man, you got to do the work in the street.
Right.
A lot of us get too comfortable with the pulpit and the four walls, and I just had a different calling. And so that's pretty much this backstory. That's pretty much how I got involved, and it was an awakening. It was when I read that scripture, you know, it did something. Because of course, keep in mind, I get baptized, I get conscious right after, and then I'm learning about the negative history of Christianity, right? I'm learning about, you know, because regardless of me being a minister, I'm very aware that there are some things that's connected to our church and Christianity that doesn't have the best story, right? Right. We know there was a slave ship that came here named Jesus. We know that, you know, our oppressor forced certain, I would say, wrong doctrines of Christianity on us. So that had me torn. Like, you know, the whole white man's religion, I was really torn. But when I discovered what's called Black liberation theology with Dr. Cone, Albert Cleage, these ministers who almost, if you close your eyes, you thought you were listening to Elijah Muhammad or Farrakhan. That's what got me to realize, there were black preachers that was about that life. Everybody wasn't talking about the pie in the sky.
Right.
Some people was talking about, even as preachers, taking up arms, right? Reverend Nat Turner, you know, who did a rebellion and during the slave times, he said, praise the Lord, pass the ammunition. So when I realized that there was a history of ministers and preachers that wasn't cowardice, that wasn't gonna tuck their tail, that wasn't gonna scratch when they not itching, laugh when the joke ain't funny, it did something to me. And it helped me accountable to say, as a minister, I can be one that actually cares about my community and not just taking from my community, but adding to my community. So it just woke me up. But it definitely was an aha moment. Like That's So Raven, she had a little epiphany.
Right.
It just held me accountable. Like, okay, if I'm going to be a minister, I have to minister by serving, not just by running.
So you're actually a real minister, guys. A real minister.
I always say it's not a nickname.
Right. I was about to say, so it's not an Instagram name. It's not, it's not just a marketing thing. You're actually a real minister. That is amazing.
People think I'm Muslim, which is not an insult. I love my
I did too.
family.
I'm people. I thought as well.
Yeah, I love my Muslim family. I am very Muslim influenced. I'm a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I'm a big student of Malcolm X. And so, and I have a lot of love for our Sunni brothers and sisters. I mean, Malcolm was also later on Sunni.
Yes.
So I learn from all religions, right? I learn from everything, and anything you can learn from it. So I don't lean necessarily one or the other. I'm just more so just focusing on, okay, how can I take from this, take from that? Of course, stay grounded in my Christian principles, but I don't necessarily get offended if people think I'm this or that, because I think those are labels, and we get too caught up in labels.
Yeah.
But no, I am really a minister. I got started preaching in 2014. I got licensed to preach in 2018, and I've been preaching ever since.
That is dope. So I'm sure during this whole time of you converting and finding you during the age of like 19, you have dealt with several backlash. Can you explain to those who want to be you or better than you, or just be able to represent you in a way where they're still keeping hope alive for our people as well? What are some of those trials and tribulations that you may say this person should be ready for, and there's nothing that you're going to be able to do to avoid it?
That's really good. So I would say be prepared to have people put their mouths on you. You got to have thick skin. I think that my skin really wasn't as thick as it is today because I was so young. When you start at 19, people don't really realize how young 19.
Yeah, I mean,
most 19-year-olds ain't thinking about activism, protesting, going to jail, getting arrested, but I was. But I recognized that as time went on, it just made me stronger. But be prepared for that. You can't take it personal. That's number one. If I have to write a book about this, that's principle number one.
Right.
Don't take it personal, because when people are nasty, are mean, that's a reflection of them.
Right.
See, trauma has to come out.
Yes.
It comes out in violence. It comes out, people being angry, overly emotional, and it comes out with people sometimes being disrespectful, nasty, etc. So they're gonna put their mouths on you. When I say they, I mean any and everybody.
Okay.
Your own people, which is even more painful, but all people. So we don't necessarily focus on what people say. We consider it because some things is valid, but don't take it to heart. Second thing, be prepared to sacrifice and be sacrificed, right? And I ain't necessarily even talking about with your life, even though I was, and I still am prepared.
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that again? Because when you're from New York, you gotta say it twice. And when something means like that line right there, I think people need to make sure that they hear that one more time.
Let me say it again.
Yeah.
Be prepared to sacrifice and to be sacrificed, right? Because it's a sacrifice. I used to get emotional probably a few years ago until I really had to accept it. When I think about how much of my life I really gave up.
Right.
I lost a lot of my youth, and so I don't regret it. I just tell youngsters, learn from my path, which is number one, just think long term. I was playing for the long run.
Okay.
I didn't understand how powerful this enemy is and that they will literally destroy your life for speaking up. And it's not to say we should not speak up, but just be strategic, because unfortunately, the jobs, you're going to lose those. Relationships, you're going to lose those.
Right.
Opportunities, you just are. But I always say this, the hope part, 'cause I like to always give some type of hope. The hope in this is we always focus on the price, but we overlook the prize. See, there's a prize, there's a reward for anybody who chooses,
Like that.
I believe, obviously, in the afterlife. So I believe there's an afterlife reward I'm going to receive, but there's also an earthly reward. There's benefits to being a good person. So we don't showcase that enough, which is why the culture likes to lean towards drama, negativity, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a real deal benefit in doing the right thing. It's something called karma, right?
Yeah.
Which means
Yep.
what you reap is what you sow. What you
Amen
put
to
out
that.
is what you get back.
Amen to
The
that.
Bible even says that that you will bear the sins of your father. So your children can even be impacted from what you have done. So that's why it's important to just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Make the right choices.
Can you speak on that? Your children, like, can you speak on how your children has been impacted by your leadership in the movements that you've been doing just all over the country and the impact? Like, does it affect them? Do you see if it does, or how does?
Right now, because my kids are so young, but I also keep them. Right now, they're more private.
Okay,
People
okay.
obviously I post them and celebrate them, but my kids don't know who I am. They they're still kind of young, so
Your
they don't
dad.
really know. Minister Stretch. They don't pay attention. By the time we probably they get maybe 11 or 12, they start really peeping like this don't seem. But also, it's normal. It's gonna be normal, right? To know they have the access. It took my wife time to even evolve because I met my wife, when I was already an activist. And so she wasn't really in the Black community. So she was kind of confused. Like, we go to a place and the check comes and they like, oh, somebody took care of the check. She's like, why people paying for your food?
Right.
She understand that. Not that I asked for that, but those type of benefits or, people who shake my hand, they got tears in their eyes saying I changed their life. Guys who said they watched me in prison and they see me on the news and I gave them hope to keep going. She understand that. And I'm not one to just dump my whole resume on the first date, so I kind of withheld. And I didn't want to scare her off because my first girlfriend gave me the deuces because she was like, you finna blow up, I'm done.
She was over here having a dream.
Yeah, I had to give it. I wanted her to see for herself. I didn't want to give her the full rundown. I let her kind of learn on her own. But I would say right now, their lives is for the most part pretty normal. But I will say it's going to be impacted in a positive way. Hopefully that they can, the resources and benefits I've been able to receive, I can open doors for them. Every parent wants to make it lighter for their children. Right. But obviously I'm strategic because I understand there's also a negative impact, right? Like, depending on who you are as a leader, your kids can be ostracized as well. So it's just about being strategic, just about understanding that, there is a opportunity for your children to be I guess, emerge, way to benefit them long term. But also, again, it is going to be a sacrifice as well for them. Right. But I always say it's all about how you weigh it, right? Because somebody said one time on the show, they say, how does it feel like with the hate you get and being blackballed? And I said, I don't even really dwell into that because you can only be blackballed in spaces you want to go in. And I don't want to sound boastful, but I'm loved in my community. So I don't walk around dwelling on I'm so hated. I have time for that. Like Dame Dash said, if you slap me and I slap you back, you're gonna tell the story like I'm the bad guy. You're not gonna talk about that you slapped me first. So he was like, I'm the good guy to the good guys, and that's how I feel. I'm the good guy to the good guys. So as far as the so-called hate, I don't dwell in that. I get love everywhere I go. There are haters, of course, but I don't dwell in that because that's just not my burden to bear. Going back to the last point, we can't.
You don't worship the problem.
You can't worship the problem, and you can't be concerned with people's behavior. That's for them. I give them grace, but everybody has different things that have made them be the way they are. So can't take it personal. You just can't take it personal. So you're going to make sacrifices. Time is going to be cut short sometimes. I mean, in my early days, I wasn't going to family events, birthday parties. I was missing everything because I had no balance.
So you was just all over the place.
Man, listen, if I had a podcast to do and a date night, I'm doing the podcast.
Oh, wow.
If I had a birthday party, niece, nephew, and I got a speaking event, I'm at the speaking event. If I had a panel to do and doctor's appointment and I can't move doctor's appointment, I'm at the speaking event. Okay. That's just how that went. Okay. I didn't care what it was.
Call yourself a workaholic, or you just wanted to disconnect from just people?
I just think I love being around my people. It's just when you're passionate, again, people want the titles. Because I have people who hate on me, but they don't hate the sacrifices.
Right.
See, people only jealous of the good stuff.
They probably don't even see the sacrifices
100%.
Either. Because it's something that, real leaders don't talk about. Because we know that comes with the territory of being a leader. It's speaking of that, like, what is your definition of a leader? Because there's some people that, just throw that title, like you say, and the culture can be misunderstood when it comes to several leaders because a lot of things are performative, right? So what is your definition of a leader this day and age right now based off of the things that we're going through as a people?
So I would say a leader for sure is one. Well, there's several. Like, let me condense it and let me say
A leader in your
community leader.
Let's bring it down.
So a community leader, I would say, is definitely one that is passionate. You gotta be passionate. If you're a so-called community leader, but you're so focused on profit, I just feel like you're really a community businessman that's using leadership to make money. It's a difference. Like leadership is your business. Leadership is not my business. Right. Like, I'm a leader. Now, there's nothing wrong with being compensated for your time and things like that, but you can't lead with that.
Right.
Right. Now, we know take money to make money. It take money to help community.
Right.
But that shouldn't be your focus and your MO. Right. We're not celebrities, even though some of us do become well known. But you're not a celebrity though. Mm-hmm. You know, you're not an entertainer, even though some things you say may be entertaining. You got to know your lane. Right. Like, I'm very talented, but when I'm in these spaces, I'm a leader. I'm not here to, crack jokes, even though we may laugh. I'm here to focus on, I'm trying to put a message out to help our people grow.
Correct.
So a leader has to be, number one, know what your out game and your end game is. So if you're going to be a leader, you got to be humble, which I used to struggle with that. Lord's still working on me.
I'm still working on us. You're not all.
But you got to be humble. You got to be able to listen. You got to be able to learn. And you got to be a servant at heart. All leaders have to serve. If you see me in my events, I'm sweating the hardest. I'm grabbing stuff. I'm lifting stuff. I'm the first one there. I'm the last one to lead. Me and my security. So again, everybody wants to be a leader until it's time to really be a leader. Right. Everybody want to be the head until it's time to be the first one getting all the hits. Whoever's in the front get hit first.
Yes.
So people don't understand that. Everybody want to do it. So again, it's like we love the glory, but we don't know the real struggle of the story.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've paid a lot of dues into this work, a lot of sacrifices.
Can I ask you some of your struggles? That you have.
For sure.
Because I know that you were one of the youngest. I don't know if it's African American, but I know you were You were going for mayor, and you're one of the youngest here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So I know that came with a busload of things.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna name the topics, and then you can pick which one you want to dive into.
Let's do it.
So I've suffered financially. Mm-hmm. I've suffered mentally, mental health issues. I've suffered in relationships. Mm-hmm. I've suffered, finance in terms of the struggle.
Let's take two.
Employment.
Let's take the finance and mental health.
Okay.
Just because I'm in finance and mental health is very important as to what I do for to obtain the finances.
Absolutely. So let's
do it.
Let's go mental health first. So with mental health, people don't realize, even though we say sticks and stones, all that, listen, words affect you. When you giving your all and you realize you missed your doc's appointment to be in this event, you missed the date, your girl gonna be mad at you because you showed up, and folks is online talking about you a scammer, you a fraud, you a hustler, you pimping like other preachers, that's painful, right? You know what I'm saying? It's painful, especially when it's people who used to call comrade, used to soldier with, used to be in the same group, and it's like, hold on, was I a scammer when I taught you what you knew? So again, even though we try to act strong, it does weigh on you. Mm-hmm, you start questioning yourself, right? Yeah, and then it makes you seek validation, which in return will bring down just kind of, when your calling is under attack, your calling a lot of times becomes really who you are. Right. So when your calling's under attack, it's kind of hard to not feel depressed and down. So me personally, I've been through it. I've been suicidal. I walked at events in community and nobody knew I was battling taking my life. Wow. Because of the burden. That's a real burden that come with this type of work, especially when you start counting up the L's. Mm-hmm, you start being like, dang, I lost this, lost that, lost this. People don't think. That's why
you start asking yourself, is it worth it? Is it truly worth it?
And you start having regrets.
Ooh.
Being like, dang, why even get into this work, right? And that's why I give so much grace and empathy to people I see who are my age and younger doing this work, because I recognize that our words can just kill a person down. We're not being mindful of what people go through when they leave that space.
Okay.
What people go through, because again, most of our leaders, you're still gonna deal with Death in the family, like you're not exempt from real issues because you're a leader.
Exactly.
Death in the family, divorce, whatever. You're gonna go through those things, and so mentally it affected that. Not to mention because of my lack of balance, it affected my balance within my marriage. I almost lost my marriage. So there's a lot that's under attack when you are literally just trying to serve, and these are things you don't pre-think about. So I always share with leaders. Number one, even though you may be called to be a leader, do not neglect your family. What I did is not the template.
Right.
You know, doing Zoom calls
What's your
in the
advice?
movie.
What's your advice for the gentleman who may want to lead and also be the head leader of their household and still be able to maintain that balance? Like, what would you tell that gentleman?
Listen, it's never worth it to sacrifice your family. When I say family, I mean those that's blood, those that you consider family, because those are things you can't get back. I can't make my niece be 5 again.
Right.
And she 8. I can't make my best friend turn 29 again. We now 31. So when you miss those events, you can't go back and get that.
Right.
So people say, "Stretch, you always in the community," which means I'm missing something, right? So if I'm with y'all, that means something I probably got invited to I didn't make. So it's just not worth it. Balance means my balance schedule is like, if I know I'm out late, like tonight, I probably won't get home till 8-ish or 9-ish. Then the rest of this week, I'm home.
Right.
You know, Friday, we got a big block party. I'm going to get home late Friday. And then we got something on Sunday, which means the following weekend, I ain't doing nothing all weekend. So it's just, that's my personal schedule that we have in my household.
Okay.
Like if I'm going to be out this week, that means that the next week or a week after that, you know, I'm not doing nothing. And it's also talking it through. If you have a spouse,
Communication.
keeping them in the loop. Right, letting them know like, hey, I'm dogging this weekend, but let them see. But next weekend, I already scheduled us. We going dinner, because again, your family wants to feel that they're just as important.
Right.
And I didn't think about it like that. I was just caught up in the moment. So you got to have balance. But my wife also understands, if I'm going to do this calling, I got to take it seriously. And sacrifice is a part of that. You cannot be a leader of anything. I don't care whether it's business, finance, education, and think you finna just half step.
Exactly. Yep.
Like if you're gonna be successful, something gonna have to come.
Yep.
For better things to live, certain things have to die.
So in regards to your village that you have, your main village is your family, right? That's the top pillar. And then you have multiple villages that I see that you're a part of and that you support and that you're a founder of. Can you speak about the organizations or the villages that you have that keep you still being Minister Stretch?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to mentor name because I'm gonna miss somebody, I'll get in trouble. But I've been fortunate to have many mentors, aunties, and play uncles who I really, consider family.
Yep.
I have my Pastor Kelsey West, who pours into me.
Shout out
And
to Pastor.
I'm a proud member of 2 of the greatest organizations. One, I am a Prince Hall Mason, so I'm part of the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge in Nevada.
Okay, so see the chain. I see the piece.
Philip E. Bell Jr. Lodge number 5 is my home lodge. Okay. I'm also a proud member of the baddest collegiate Greek organization, the Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
The gang.
I lean heavily on my fraternity brothers. I'm blessed to have a strong team with my security team, my Crusader brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just fortunate, to have people around me. Most people in my team, have been with me pretty much almost since the beginning. Okay. And so, I have best friends. In this season of my life, being 31, my life is definitely a good balance of.
You are young. Yeah, he's 31. You're 31, seriously.
31.
Wow.
112.95. But I feel old.
Sheesh.
The leadership is like dog years. And then before I get to the village, I want to get back to I want to talk on the finance piece.
Okay. Yep.
With the finance, so employment. First thing they started tackling was my jobs, because out here, what got me to kind of, I guess, quote unquote, claim the fame was me focusing on the issues of police terrorism, state violence.
Right.
I didn't really realize everybody out here either got a son that's police, best friend's police, husband's police, mama's police. So when you speak out, they think you're talking about everybody. And so they get upset. And I realized, listen, we focusing on these officers. Don't get me wrong, it's a system issue. We calling it all out as a system. But
we're not going to ignore that either. We're not going to ignore that it's a system issue because you're my friend
100%.
and you're a police officer.
100%.
Like, you should still, you should still vouch for what is right and what is wrong.
100%.
And,
and they take it personal, like, well, you shouldn't speak up because my husband, not good for your husband. But they ain't got nothing to do with what this is, right?
Right.
So when you do that, Las Vegas, Nevada is a right to work state. And so most states, you know, if that 90-day probation, you pretty much fire them without any reason. What they used to tell me was, "Oh, we don't think you're in alignment with our core values." Once they hit you with that,
wow, yes, really.
what you gonna say?
No,
So then I would ask them, honesty, who I've not been honest with, integrity, who I'm not integral with. And they like, again, we don't want to go back and forth. Ain't no back. I'm asking y'all. You just said I'm fired. Ain't no back and forth.
Right. Explain
to me what I did wrong. You gonna fire me? Then call Peace, have me work all day. And then call me and give me a check at 4 o'clock. Oh, you should have fired me when I got here. I could have went home, cashed my check. You know what I'm saying? So it's a cold game. But that affected me. I've had cars repossessed. I've had eviction notice. I mean, that's why I'm grateful for my wife, because she hung in there. You know, 8 years, man.
Shout out to wife.
You know, we suffered, you know, because it affected her. She lost job opportunities. You know, for the longest, her last name, even now, we're in process of changing her last name to my name because we did not want her being impacted, you know, losing opportunities with her with the same name. Sanders is not a common name. And so just those little things. You know how many times we go in restaurants and we turn down reservations because I'm not comfortable with the seating arrangements. I'll put it that way. So these are type of things that come with this lifestyle. People don't realize having to cancel events because I don't have security to go with me. Right. So when you have these, and it's not that, again, I have issues with anybody thinking that something's gonna happen, but we're not gonna play about it either.
Yeah, you're
right?
not. Yeah. So, and that's just for anything. Somebody who think, you know, somebody who's cool or of a name, you're gonna want to be protected, and the community is gonna want those.
Especially when you've been tried, right? See, it ain't performative, right? When you've been tested, you've been tried, you've been, you know, threatened. You know,
you've been tried.
Listen, you know,
you've been tried. How many times you've been tried?
Not a lot.
Okay, I'm about to say, come on. I mean, like they tested you like that? Not a lot. They tried you one time and that was it.
Well, you're gonna always be tried because of the work that we do. So when I say try, I'm not saying a person pulling up trying to throw hands.
Right.
You know, but more so just
they can try on paper. They can try in court.
Paper, they can try just trying, you know, to get on stage when I got the mic. I mean, it come in various ways.
Okay.
But I've learned that that's part of it, right? We just get proactive. But I'm also not a turn of the cheek preacher, and people know that. There's no punk inside of me, right? I fight with who fight with me. So I don't push violence. I love everybody, but I'm really about that life. I choose to be, you know, holy and stay saved. Thank you, Jesus. But I'm definitely not backing down. But again, it's not no tough guy rhetoric, none of that. Like, I respect everybody. But I'm a man first before I'm a minister. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna disrespect you, don't disrespect me. But I had people want to have whole back and forth. I'm like, bro, what you want to do? They're like, man, it's a stretch. I'm like, because I didn't cut from that, like on the movies, push. I didn't cut from that. Like once you walk up on me aggressively, I was taught to swing.
Right.
So
now I feel threatened, and you know,
100%, right? So I had to realize I can't do all that, which is why I bring guys with me. But again, you know, these are part of the sacrifice people don't talk about, and then they glorify when they do. But I also know, most importantly, I'm covered. You know, I know that God is looking down on me because I'm doing a work that's bigger than myself. But no, financial, mental health. I mean, it's been a challenge. But the beautiful thing, I have more tools. I go to therapy on a regular basis. I shout to therapists. You know, so you got to do the work to keep yourself healthy. I listen to podcasts that's about mental health and self-help on a daily basis. I listen to Farrakhan on a daily basis. I listen to some type of, you know, sermon or TD Jakes. You know, so I'm an avid reader. I read books throughout the month. You know, I do my self-care, so constantly pouring into yourself.
So
I wasn't pouring into myself, which is why my mental health started to decline, because I was just taking the hits.
I was going to ask you,
and I wasn't filling my cup back up.
Yep, I was just going to ask you, when did that happen? When did the decline happen? Because I know it did, but you just basically.
And it's burnout. You know, it's burnout. You're trying to be strong, trying to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not realizing when you got to release that. That has to go somewhere. When somebody is literally who you looked at like family turn on you, there's a grieving process that come with that. We act tough, man, F them, but there's a grieving process when you lose friends. You know, when you lose relationships, there's a grieving process because you start blaming yourself. Right. You know, and there's no shade to my ex-girlfriend. You know, I wish her well, but that affected me because I was just like, man, like, am I that bad? What am I doing? I'm like, King got a baddie. Malcolm, where's my Betty and Coretta? Right. But it was just God was just waiting. Right. She was in the locker room. She just wasn't ready to get in the game yet. So, you know, it took time. But again, all I can say to that point, you're going to be tested. But I encourage, don't run from it. It goes back to the prize versus the price. Shows
the strength too.
Don't focus on the price that you're going to pay. It's the prize. The prize that you're going to receive when you help others, when you prioritize others, you're going to be blessed on abundant. I don't know how I went days where I didn't have no money in my pocket, but somehow that teaspoon of gas lasts me 2 weeks. I know who did it, but that's that grace that comes. There's that prize I'm talking about.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
When you got, a pack of ramen, some spaghetti, and 2 packs of chicken wings that's gonna last for a month, but somehow, you make it shake for 2 months. That's what I'm talking about. When you do the work, the blessings are going to come, especially when you come from a place that has no motive. I don't have ulterior motive. I don't care what people say. I'm very genuine about what I do.
Right. So you spoke on doing the work, and I've noticed when I finally seen who you were was the George Floyd rally that you put together and you organized. I know what motivated you clearly, right? The situation at hand, but what made you want to take on the responsibility because that was and it's still a big conversation. It still ruffles feathers when we speak on it. Mm-hmm. But what made you want to say, listen, I'm going to put this together. I'm going to call my comrades and we're going to get together and we're going to march and we're going to speak on the behalf of George Floyd family.
Let me hit this real quick.
Because that was big. I mean, it was a big thing.
Oh, yeah, 6,000 people.
Yes, it was a big thing here in Vegas. And it's like...
It was historic.
Yeah, so it's like, ooh, I know that was crazy.
It's funny because one of my guys here, that was, he was in front of the stage at the event, so full circle moment. He was on post at that event. The thing,
man,
right here, yeah, he was there.
Man, that's crazy.
And so he know firsthand it was like a movie, moving how they was moving me in and out. But we was already doing that. See, we were already in line of doing the work.
Preparation.
So folks thought it was a lot of, I call them like ready-made activists. No shade, but they just popped up out the blue like, we gonna be activists. We was already doing it, right?
Right.
Many of them New Jacks, damn, blown by the wind, right? And there's no, no this. Everybody has their calling,
right? But
I was already doing it. See, prior to the George Floyd, we had did one for Tashi Brown Farmer, who was killed by Metro. We had did one for Sandra Bland. We did the the Mike Brown, and then we did Alton. We would do national and local. Alton Sterling, Philando Castile.
Did you do anything for Trayvon Martin?
No, because I was at that time I was still in high school. I was
young.
I was Stretch Daddy.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I was old Stretch. Yeah, I was when they called me Stretch Daddy. I was that Stretch before the daddy part dropped. I'm giving y'all these exclusives, Ty.
This is the exclusives we get. Stretch that. It's not going to leave my head now.
I was not focused
now I'm
on
going to see you in my head. I'm going to say Minister Stretch, but in my head, Stretch.
Yeah, I was not about no. I wish, though, because that would have been really cool to be part of that.
That would have been. Because I could see you like, because that was a big error, too.
I wasn't conscious at all. Anything you would think of that's conscious, I was the complete opposite.
Did that case affect you in any type of way? You was young, so, and Trayvon was young. No? No? Wow.
I hate to say that, but it's true.
Wow, that's crazy.
We were just like, man, that's messed up, But we wasn't like, oh my God. I
didn't know the severity of what was.
No. Especially because Vegas, like, lived on, we from the east side of Vegas. Mm-hmm. I wasn't around, like, I didn't have any police interactions. I didn't have that experience. My school was very diverse. It was a paradise. It was an oasis of all different ethnicities. We had the pick of the litter from any culture you wanted to be attached to, you could attach yourself to that culture. So I didn't have that reality. We knew Florida definitely didn't play around. Now, of course, being who I am now, I know there's a side of Vegas and Nevada that you definitely have that experience. But at that time, the little bubble we were in, my high school was like High School Musical. So mind you, I leave Chicago, 16 years old. I leave Lean on Me. I live like a Joe Clark environment.
Yeah.
Police got
chains on the doors and everything.
100%. Police got stations in the high schools. Like, we don't have a school police. We have actual Chicago police in the schools.
Right.
So go from that to then being fast forward to High School Musical. My principal opened the door with face paint on, everything. So it was an oasis, and so we was just stuck in. Gotta
be a culture shock.
Yeah, we was just stuck in that. We wasn't thinking. It was my senior year in high school. That was, oh my gosh, I was going crazy. That,
okay.
Cause
yeah, you was different.
Fly, dressing like I like to dress. Man, I had about 100 snapbacks at that time. Ooh. I don't have no more hats now, but except for my fedoras. But
Okay.
yeah, life was just different, and that's why I think when I woke up seriously, because
Right.
the more asleep you are when you do get consciousness, you almost feel like angry. Like I'm not proud to say I wasn't socially aware, even though, my mother has always been very socially aware and Chicago socially conscious. My mother allowed us to just kind of just be kids, be teenagers, especially because that was kind of new for our generation. Prior to Trayvon
and
Martin,
back then it was more so stay in the kid's place too. That was a thing. That was that was a real big thing.
yeah. And my mother's biggest thing was making sure we understood why we came out here. She was like, we didn't come out here for y'all to go to jail, gangbang. Y'all left that in Chicago. Y'all came out here to be successful. So we just really didn't have time to focus on that. We were trying to play ball, do the girls. I was very popular in school. Senior year, I got nominated for like 10 categories. You know what I'm saying? And then I won class clown with my twin brother, which I was like, you ain't even the class clown. I'm the class clown.
Did you play any sports?
Not enough to call me a jock, but I dibbled and dab. I was a late bloomer. So my first time actually playing organized ball was 16 years old when I came here.
Yeah, you were late.
It was real late because Chicago was survival. My mother was like, the whole team gang affiliated. So it's like, which is why after every game, the police got to surround because somebody gonna fire at the crowd. So it was a survival mechanism. We come here, it's like you can play in the park all night long. So we had more freedom to express. Maybe I could play ball. Maybe I could run track. Even things that we thought was more so, like in Chicago, if you play volleyball, like they think that you're, what I'm saying.
Yep.
So, But here it was like, bro, like we giving out scholarships. It was dudes that was like, got face tats playing volleyball, going to college on D1 scholarship. And so Vegas allowed us to realize we can just be regular teenagers. We can dream.
Right.
Which, don't get me wrong, while we did certain things because we knew we could. But we dib it and dab because it was like, man, this is freedom, right? We can do anything we want to do. But it allowed us to really just meet genuine people. Most of the people I'm friends with to this day, just genuine kids. And just, when I got the yearbook result, when they showed me on the website we had of the nominations, and it was like, I got nominated for Prettiest Smile.
Oh my God, this guy.
Best Dress.
I can see. Okay.
Best Personality.
Yeah, you got that. You got
Clown. I didn't get Most Likely to Succeed. I didn't get that one. Mama was like, why y'all couldn't get that?
Oh, man.
And Most Talented.
Okay.
I played instruments and everything.
Okay.
And my brother.
So what made you pledge? What made you pledge? The college days. Yeah. What made you? So did you always want to be a part of?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. So I joined the graduate chapter. I joined where you could join after you completed school.
Yep.
And so, but my father's a member of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. So growing up with a father as a Q, it was always around. But as I got older, I just realized, even though I would have been a legacy, I just wasn't in line. I have a lot of respect for Omega men because I was raised by one. Well, not raised. I shouldn't say that. My daddy didn't raise me. But I was my father's one. No shade to dad. You see this dad, no shade. Because, I always send my dad what I do. So, Dad, I don't even say it like that to you, brother. But my dad didn't raise us. And there's no shade to him. But having a Q around me, let's put it that way.
Right.
I've always had respect. That's all I knew. Up to I was like a teenager, I didn't know no other D9 existed because all he was rep was Q stuff. I mean, his friends, anybody was around him. If the times he did associate with us, he was always in Q mode. If we went up the street in his vehicle, he playing Q songs, and so it kind of, in my mind, I was like, well, at some point I'm probably gonna get older and become a Q. But once I got kind of my own footing, then I went to period 2 with me and my dad really.
I know that was a conflict when you played.
Oh, for sure.
I know for sure.
But Dad took it well because he understood, man, you can't ask for a withdrawal when you never deposited. You know what I'm saying? So he had to respect it, right? It's like, hey, like, how I'm gonna get upset with you not joining my fraternity when it's like, man, we ain't start. I mean, my dad went from like, we moved to Vegas, we didn't really feel like we didn't have much of his support in Chicago, but when we moved out here, we felt like he just completely was just like, well, I'm really, the bare minimum he was doing, he was like, it felt like he was like, I'm done, now y'all left the city. So from like 16 to 25, we didn't talk. When I ran for mayor, I sent my dad the mayoral card. He was like, well, son, I just pulled over on the side of the road, man, I'm crying, I'm emotional, I'm proud of you. That put us on the same path of talking. Next week, he introduced us to his other kids. We had never met them. Me and my brother are my dad's secret kids. So, so all of my life, they did not know we existed.
And you have a twin?
I have a twin brother.
Okay.
So I have older siblings on his side. They didn't know who he was. His mother did not know, didn't really know who he was. So we got introduced to them. Well, actually, his mother knew, but she acted like she did not know. Matter of fact, this past March, I went down to Alabama to meet her for the first time. 31 years old. You wouldn't have known. You'd thought I was raised by her, right? But so again, having that influence of just knowing the Omegas through him. When I got older, I kind of resented it too, because I was like, man, like, what type of fraternity is this where y'all got brothers? And I learned now I can't blame all, because I know Omegas who are active in their kids, but at that time, being a teenager, I was just mad. So when my opportunity came to join, that was the last thing on my mind.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was just like, I felt that resentment was just like, I can't even in good standing join something when I feel like, it just has a negative connotation. It was a personal thing
too, for you. You had to let that personal side of things go. It seemed like, but do you feel like you got there?
Oh yeah. I made the right decision, but of course, when I talked to my dad, I was like, so I waited till I was like getting ready to cross, and I was like, so Dad, I cross tomorrow. He was like, what you mean? I'm like, I'm getting ready to become a Sigma. He's like, Phi Beta Sigma? I'm like, yeah. He's like, interested. After that, I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah.
I know how was it at barbecues and
so I haven't had that moment with him yet. Like I pitched it, I was like, maybe when I go to Chicago, we can go to the Chicago Greek picnic. And he was like, yeah, that'd be something, wouldn't it? That was his way of saying, nah.
Because it's always a competition between the two, And
I also think it's a reflection, because some of his friends are my Masonic brothers, and they told me, man, your dad be telling us, man, how I'm a Q, my son's a Sigma. But I was just like, I know there's me joining a different fraternity basically could be a reflection of him of like, man, I really dropped the ball. You got two sons, handsome, 6'8", 6'10", doing a big one. One of your sons can join a frat and he joins a complete different one. So that he got to eat that.
Yeah,
he got to eat
probably
that.
Made him feel some sort of way.
And more, I feel like more so a reflection of like, when you get older is when you start really realizing how much you can pour out of your kids based upon what you put in when they were young, right?
Yes.
So this is life lesson to anybody watching this. You cannot withdraw. Withdraw means to pull out if you have not deposited, meaning you put in. When I give people advice, I don't give people any type of constructive criticism if I've never told them, good job, proud of you, I love what you're doing. If I never gave nothing positive, I'll purposely wait forever and to call out or call higher, not out, but call up some of the things I think they should work on. I'll wait until that rapport is built, because I'm not going to take nothing out and I never put nothing in, right? And that's just life principle. Yeah, so I think with my pops, I think it just reminds him. Now, for example, my wife's a Zeta. That's my sorority sister. I have no doubt that my, daughters.
That's just putting the kids all around it.
100%. But I have no doubt they're not going to become Zetas. I have no doubt, because all they know is blue and white. You know what I'm saying? So when you have two parents that are good examples of this, and I've been in my kids' life since they came out the womb. You know what I'm saying?
I see that on Instagram, and I love it. I love it. I saw that you just spent a whole week with them. This first time that you've done it. You gotta speak about
that was the struggle.
You gotta speak about that. I know it wasn't as peachy cream as you made it seem, because you have two girls.
And I'm a worry word. All I do is fuss.
Oh.
I yell the entire time with them. I just yell all the time, even when Kendall home. I just be yelling. I gotta stop yelling.
So how did you?
Just kept yelling. Just kept yelling, because I'm a panicker. Like as a dad, I'm really scary.
And then you got girls.
So when they eating, if they bite an apple, if it's too big of a piece, because accidents happen. You know what I'm saying? And Kendall think I'll be freaking out, but I know Cass. See, a background people don't realize was
come on,
I worked at a funeral home for 6 years in Vegas. You name the scenario, I've dealt it. It's nothing worse than preparing the body of a child who choked on something simple. You know those little balls we used to get from the they still got some of the little pinball machine you put the cord in. We had a kid choked on one of those.
Wow.
Right? We had a kid that, the little lollipops was in the car seat. I guess the parent went over a speed bump, it went down. This happens. This is real. So when I'm saying, give me that. When I take them suckers, I want my lollipop. Get something else. Because y'all running. Wow. It take one trip.
But you traumatized. You traumatized.
It ain't even traumatized. It's just wisdom. We gotta listen, Ty.
He said, everybody that's walking with lollipops, I'm taking it out their mouth.
If you a certain age, for sure. Nobody's getting a lollipop by me under 7. It's not happening.
Crazy. You can't
I'm the lollipop police. Like, I'm not doing it with you. Give me the freaking lollipop. Like, you would thank me later. You know the Bugles chips that like the kind of shape we put them on our fingers.
Oh, come on,
My daughter,
you put them on like you Freddy Krueger and do this thing.
my youngest almost choked on one. Kendall said, "Okay, you was right."
Oh.
See, this thing, I'm fussing from experience. Some of it could be the trauma of it being repeated,
Right?
But
right,
I know this is real.
Right.
Listen, accident, which is why we don't let my kids. They was one time they was jump on each other back roughhousing. I said no, because growing up, my mama told a story about these siblings that was wrestling, and the little boy, I guess, like flipped his sister wrong, broke her neck. Listen, for as far as I knew the story, they charged him with manslaughter, and they was playing. Right?
Oh,
so
man.
again, this is why we was never allowed to roughhouse, none of that.
Yeah.
Because all it takes is for a wrong slip, wrong move. So it can sound panicky, but like when you think about these death stories, we gotta be careful.
Right,
and so
right.
I'm like that. So when they would do little stuff,
You're preventing.
my wife is a little more relaxed. Babe, they good. I'm on them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I want eyes on them at all times. If they play outside, I'm right there. Not in the window. You know what I'm saying? I'm out front. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just real protected because I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? These my heartbeats. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't had y'all long. Like, let me at least get my money worth. You know what I'm saying? You 5 and 3. Like, no, you
Now,
baby.
the fact that you have girls and you see what's happening.
I'd be the same if it was a boy.
Okay. I was about to say.
It wouldn't change. This is
because fathers do that. Like that's why fathers do.
I'm
it.
riding for all mine.
With girls, y'all are super. Don't do that. Don't do that. But with boys, it's like, go ahead, jump over the fence and. No, you same thing with the boys too. Like if you had a boy.
Because people always say, we gonna travel for a third next year. And they always like, you hope you get that son. See.
Oh man.
I'm not gonna change my program. Now this is my thing. When your kids get a certain age, I understand some parents do become more gender focused. Like obviously your young lady gets 12, you're gonna have more lady conversations.
Right.
But I'm talking about when they little, when they 5, you don't kiss your son in your mouth, but kiss your daughter in your mouth, or her mouth. 5 is 5.
5 is 5. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like, well, I'm gonna be a little harder with him. He's 5, bro. So I just don't, because that's trauma. These sons get older, they can't handle their emotions. They've been taught their whole life women are beneath them. When language is important. Wow. You hit like a girl. What's wrong with hitting like a girl?
Right.
Even the femininity, right? I know I might not be the most masculine dude in the world. I have a lot of tendencies I've been told are feminine, but what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Because what y'all think is manhood ain't really manhood. You're more masculine than me because you can carry a pistol, because you sag your pants. I'm just kind of trying to figure out like what's masculine. What
describes that? Yeah.
Right. So we've allowed these societal that's a lot of rooted in white supremacy of what manhood, womanhood. That ain't really our culture.
Right.
If you think about African culture, the men used to cook more than the women. Right? I can't cook. So again, I am traditional. I have some traditional values, but I'm just saying, if we want to open it up, we got to open it up. When we talk about masculinity versus femininity, you know what I'm saying? So again, I feel like it's like, because I can't work on the car, stretch, you ain't really masculine. I don't want to get my hands dirty. I'm sorry, I read books. Like I like magazines. Like I like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to have bad fingers. Like
you get your nails done?
No.
You get your nails done? No.
That ain't that's the one thing I'm not. That's not my style.
No, like clear, nothing, just.
Nah. That's where the 90-second Marquette Chicago come out at that point. But now you got cats doing polish, like straight cats. I ain't knocking, do your thing. That ain't my style though. So I draw the line, but I don't judge though, because like if you say something, I may say okay. People be like, that's a little, don't bother me.
Okay, so how?
I got the baddest queen rocking my chain. I know how I operate, so I'm not judging. But even if I was, that's not offensive to me either. Because I have people say on podcasts like, is he that? I'm not offended by that, because I don't think there's nothing wrong if that's what you are. So when you accept you and you walk into you can't be offended by that.
Nothing else around you should bother you.
100%. But as far as kids, let kids be kids.
Yes.
Stop telling your son that if he climb a tree, oh no, boys don't climb trees, let the girls climb, whatever it is. It's like, man, that to me is dangerous. Now, of course, you want to teach all your kids, boy or girl, to be, I ain't gonna say be tough, but to have courage, right? To defend themselves. My kids right now getting boxing lessons on the low. So you want to teach them, right? I'm not gonna not teach my daughters how to carry firearms, but I'm gonna teach my son. Survival. Understand what I'm saying? So that's what you gotta come with. Once they get when my sons get like 13, then that's when we're gonna have more of those. Okay, son, now open the door, and maybe not 13, maybe like 9, but the gentleman things. But as far as they little, I see the passion. My program ain't gonna change.
Like I see the passion that you have with the youth, like, and I also saw because if you didn't attend the Nolan Wells, Listen, I'm not even gonna go there with the community in regards to that, because I do, I have an expectation when it comes to people who throw the word community or leader out there. And I'm always chastising people, because I really feel like community is very, very important to me. Not only just the LGBTQ community, but also the black community, and just our community in general, as youth, as adults. Like, we don't stand for a lot, and just seeing that, I expected a lot on Saturday, in regards to a lot of people coming out and for the Nolan Wells. But, shout out to the people who did come out, because it was a lot of important individuals.
All 25 of us.
Yeah, it was a lot of important leaders out there, and the value out there that you could have gotten if you would have came out.
I wasn't surprised, though.
Okay, and I wanted to get to that, because I didn't want to, I didn't want to, kind of jump on that. But were you surprised that, because
No.
I'm not from Vegas, so this culture is different. In New York City, when you call for a call of action, It's on. Like, we shutting blocks down. You
What borough
can't.
are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, so everyone is standing up for the cause, whether you're in different organizations or not. But I do feel like a lot of the issues out here is very, very, a lot of the leaders are performative.
Yeah.
If there's not a camera around, I feel like there won't be certain leaders around. What is your take on that?
Well, maybe
because I'm not from here.
But a certain crowd. I
Right.
will say, I love New York people. I love y'all style. If I was from New York, I have a particular borough I would want to be from. I'm not going to say it because you didn't say
Well,
that borough.
no, say it. You got to say it now. You can't just, you got to say it. And it better be a borough, better be no Harlem, because that's not a borough.
Harlem's in Manhattan.
Yes.
But I was going to say Harlem/Manhattan.
Okay.
I like Harlem. I like Harlem cats. A lot of cats from Harlem. But you say Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Brooklyn is from what I see, Brooklyn is solid. Brooklyn is solid.
Good. I like that you said that. Good.
Brooklyn is solid.
He's safe. He's safe now.
I feel like y'all know how to kind of, it seemed like it'd be like the Bronx versus, but Brooklyn and Harlem.
Borough. It's always borough.
But y'all style is very similar to Chicago. It really is. It's
yes, I will say that.
We carry ourselves, but I had to throw that out there. But no, I really wasn't surprised, because I understand this, and I didn't take it personal either.
Okay.
Everybody wake up at different points. Not to mention, this is a national case, and so everybody ain't hip to it. People ask me, "Are you saddened?" I'm only surprised when the crowds are super large. When they super small, because I started that. My first rally I ever held was for Sandra Bland. It was August 3rd, 2015, at that same statue.
Yes.
So almost over 11 years later, we back at that same point. That was full circle for me. We had 35 people I counted. The one I did 11 years ago, we had 25.
Wow.
So we gained 10 more. 11 years, right?
Yeah, it's progress. That's progress.
It's progress, right? But I also understand, even though that, I was able to talk to at least 6 that said, "How can I work with you?" See, that's what matters.
Yes.
I'd rather be with 5 soldiers than 100 cowards. You understand me?
Yes.
So
Same.
therefore, I'm not caught up in large numbers. My mother always tell me, it's not about the quantity, it's the quality.
Yes.
Quality.
Yes.
We want quality people, because here's the thing.
And it was definitely a lot of quality out
some
there.
dope quality.
Definitely a lot of quality.
So I recognize.
You missed it. You just you suck if you missed it.
Everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody not gonna see the vision, right? So we have to remember that, because there's a lot of activists who try what I do. They go out and host something, they get the small numbers, and they be like, "Man, I'm done with this." I say, "No, that means you was only doing it for the crowd."
Right.
If nobody showed up if it was just me and you, that's what it would have been. 'Cause you came, right? I would have only left if nobody showed up. But if I've had events where only 2 people showed up.
Yes.
I didn't say, "Well, y'all event canceled." I said, "Well, we here. Y'all want to let's get the candles out." Right? Because I'm not going. And they was like, "You sure?" I'm like, "You want to go?" They said, "No, don't you waste your time. It's a waste of my time."
I'm gonna focus my energy on the people who are supporting, the people who who are doing who's standing for what it is that I'm standing for.
My passion
but
for
I was a little bit concerned on
and I understand that. And my passion for serving is not predicated on the crowd attendance.
Okay.
Am I concerned that I feel like we're falling asleep? Yeah.
Yes.
I think if we'd have hosted Nolan Wells during the 2020, it'd have been thousands out there because of the climate. See, remember, we had Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of movement.
Home
a lot
not
of
working,
motion.
not doing nothing. So it made sense on why we had the large numbers of support. I'm be honest with you, we'd never
Right.
retain that. That was
Right.
something. If you missed it, it's like if you wasn't in the Montgomery bus cot or the March on
you
Washington,
missed
Million
the
Man
whole-
March. There's some historical moments in life where it's like if you wasn't there, you just wasn't there. But if you remember, I encourage everybody,
You did.
don't lose the fire in your passion, right? Stay in the work. Stay involved in the work. Figure out, because it's too much work for folks to not be doing nothing. My question is, who are you mentoring?
Right.
Right? What organizations are you giving funding dollars to or your
Yes.
time to? Right? What podcasts and videos are you sharing to others to help increase their knowledge?
Yes.
Like my frat Twix say, to take you from section 8 to section grade. What are you doing to help level up our people? Or are you just being critical? See, many people just talk. They talk a good game, but it's like, no, talk is cheap. But work is expensive.
Right.
So what are you going to do to make a difference? Because I tell you this, time is ticking. None of us know we're going to leave this earth.
Yes.
But make sure when you leave this earth, you leave this earth with something behind. Legacy is not just about leaving money or property or generational wealth. Legacy is like, do you have the wealth people to be able to say, man, this person impacted us, right? Fed me when I was hungry, clothed me when I was naked, visited me when I was in prison, saw me when I was out of doors. That's what we all should be doing. We all should be trying to better. Tupac said it best, even when you earn, you owe. Don't wait till you want to be successful to now give back.
Right.
We all can give back. I give times I don't even have it. I use my resources. If I don't have it, I'll make a phone call, get somebody who do
around
have
you
it, to make sure that person is taken care of. Because I know what it feel like to not have. I didn't have my first bed till I was 10 years old. I slept on the floor. My bed was an old futon mattress and some Lion King and Mulan sheets. So I know what it feel like to not have. Understand?
And the futon probably hurting your back because the metal.
Lumpy.
It's lumpy.
When I was 16 years old, I never forget, my brother, one of my guys, Green Eyes, we still talk to this day. I was 16, Green Eyes was 32. My brother went to Green Eyes. We used to kick it with him and his kids. And Vaughn and that running his mouth about, we ain't had no food. So he come back home, hour later, Green Eyes show up to the door with like heck of groceries, right? Mom started crying. This is stuck with me, which is why I'm so passionate about the door-to-door grocery service that we do. Because I know what it feel like to have a person. People always say, Stretch, let them know you're coming. I don't do that. We never alert. We go in the neighborhood, we just show up.
Right.
Because we know what it feel like people to be alerted, to have that surprise. And so that stuck with me. So anything I do in the community is because I know what it feel like to not have. Understand what I'm saying?
And I've seen some of the things that you did. You had this Thanksgiving feast for the community.
This year is year 5. It's going down. The Monday, the week of Thanksgiving.
Wow.
This year we plan to step it up. I'm putting the word out. I'm going to give out a vehicle. If you listening, you got to hook up on a vehicle.
Oh, yeah, I hear that.
Bless a family with a vehicle. We don't bless. We putting it out.
Paid in
We
full?
throwing it out. Paid off. Listen, we gave our resources and we watched people take all this stuff and get on the bus. So the reality is we got to figure out how we get away from Band-Aid work. I'm not knocking it, but when you don't have transportation in this city, this ain't Chicago, New York, Detroit, we got trains, air, subways.
Yeah.
So, and it may not happen this year, but I'm speaking it because I want to make sure that we can start, if we're going to bless, let's bless.
Yes.
I want to try to pay somebody rent at some point, do some rental assistance. I love the groceries. I'm not knocking the groceries. But if you ain't got food, I'm pretty sure you got a bill or two you behind in.
Right.
If you ain't got food, you're probably struggling with some gas. So if we're going to call it bless giving, let's really go beyond toys, backpacks, and turkeys.
So, bless giving is what you guys
That's
titled
what
it?
it's called, bless giving.
Oh, wow. And it's
Shout out
year
to William
5.
McCurdy. Yep, that's my partner, year 5.
Wow.
But I've been doing community Thanksgiving events since 2016.
Okay.
Every time I left a group, I just changed the name. But I've been doing that. That idea was something I believe we created.
Right.
Where you take a place, bring people in, and you serve them a community Thanksgiving dinner. Whether whether they rich, poor, they at the same table.
Right.
Those who make the plates at some point and they switch. Those who were serving now get served.
And I think that's what a big culture shock here, because in New York City we have a lot of those and a lot of those friends dinner that a lot of the community leaders put in place for not only just the youth but also the adults, less fortunate, and things like that. So when we do see that in different states like Chicago, New York City, it's a norm for us to see that. Like, the block parties and things like that. All of that's a norm.
That's
but
how I grew up.
when you come west and the culture isn't prioritizing family, community, because coming to Vegas, it was more so gambling, money. But I was trying to look for where do the youth go when they need, or who do they lean on? And when I started to see people like yourself dealing with the youth and so many different other organization leaders dealing with the youth. I'm like, we need more exposure to.
Well, I will say this. I don't want to cut you out. How much time? We good on time?
We get on time. Yep.
I don't want to take credit because there are groups, that really work. I don't necessarily work with the youth directly. I do things that do impact the youth, but I wouldn't say like I do enough to want to take that jacket on. But you do have groups like Brother Sean Torrey has King of Jewels. Derry has Emerging Leaders.
Shout out to you.
Coach Pullum and Jack have Gentlemen by Choice. Curtis has Save Our Sons. So you have a lot of youth group-based organizations. Not to mention Sigma's got the Sigma Beta Club.
So you guys write those down. Write those down if you have
Omega's
a kid.
got the Omega Gents. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's so many. I know I'm just throwing, but I just want to make sure I acknowledge them because, that's their lane. Like how I'm outreaching, they out. Like youth is their bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take credit for something I know that's just not really my direct lane. Again, I do serve families, but I know I'll be remiss to highlight those individuals who I know, like how I miss meals and sacrifice for the broader family. They do that for the youth. And it's not that I don't serve the youth, but I always felt my calling because I have an older soul. My supporters is from 8 to 80, but a lot of my...
Because I did see a lot of youth at your 100%. Event on Saturday
and it's because
different
I focus
ages.
on the parents and they bring them out.
Right.
But eventually I will shift and become, I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. I've mentored with Save Our Sons. Not Save Our Sons, excuse me, Lord. Mentored with Iron Sharpens Iron. Shout out to Coach John. I got to acknowledge him as well. So I have mentored, but it got to a point where I heard God tell me, get the older generation. Because some of us would say, well, Frederick Douglass said, it's easy to build strong kids and repair broken children. But those broken kids going home or those strong kids going home to broken uncles touching on them, Those strong kids going home to a broken mother telling them you're going to be just like your daddy. So somebody got to touch the parents.
You starting at the top. You're
got
starting
to.
At the head.
I'm not knocking those who don't think it's important to go to the youth because I think you need both. But my mission and my calling is to lend my voice to the older generation. Let me raise that mother out of that dead condition, raise that dad out of that dead condition, and teach them knowledge of self, how to love themselves, love others, how to realize they ain't got to sell their body to make money. They ain't got to sling rocks to take care of their family. They can start a business. You can sell dope, you can sell hope, right? So I try to encourage the adults so that way they can plant the seeds into the babies.
That's good.
Because if the full family not together, no matter what you put in that child, it is going to unravel. It's just what it is.
It's just going to get covered up.
You got to get, but we need those. Shout out to those and those who I miss, my apologies. But we got to get the youth as well. So I love those who are passionate. And I am passionate about the youth because I know that's our present, not our future.
Is there like a future of you joining forces with these organizations that you mentioned? Or a plan of you wanting to do something where you can bridge the gap? There's a lot of bridging the gap that needs to happen as far as the adult. And there's a disconnection somewhere in regards to like the adults not being able to communicate with the youth. And these people, these organizations, I can see that they have a lot of like, what is it, King of Jewels? I see that organization everywhere. And then those guys are really doing what they're supposed to do with the kids. And I see that they get a lot of respect. So is there like a future of, Minister Stretch actually partnering up or your organization partnering up with any of these organizations to put a focus on
100%, because everybody I name I'm in good relationship with. So
that's dope. That's dope.
I just think I have to, when you have a focus, you got what your focus. But eventually, I won't probably start a youth. The group we're part of, we probably will have our own youth at some point, but I won't start another youth organization.
Right.
We may just have a youth auxiliary.
Okay.
But I'm not going to start
instead of reinventing the wheel.
No, because they're already doing that work, and that way our auxiliary can partner with their greater youth organization. But I go all over the city. I speak to Black student unions. I speak at the schools. Yeah. So I do find my way to give the youth. When there's Nevada Reading Week, I bring my children's book. You know what I'm saying? I got kids, so I'm more passionate about it now. But I have to realize that, you just got to know your lane, right?
Stay in your lane,
and everybody can't do what I do. I can do what everybody else.
Right. Stay in your lane. Do you go back home and do you connect with any of the leaders back in Chicago? Do you do any leadership or activism in any other states other than Vegas? Or
I have. So in the past, I was a part of an organization where it was a national-based organization. We would travel, Every time we got, almost like 10 cities a year. We would go to different cities. And so I have. Since I've transitioned from that organization, not so much. I've been really trying to, because that pulled me a lot from some of the work here. So I'm just now trying to regroup here. I had took a few years off. I was still in leadership, but I wasn't going nearly as hard as I'm going now. Just because that's why I'm going through the mental health and different things.
Yeah.
So I had to ease into it, right? I had to, number one, get my family together, right? Because for many, many years, I was a man with a family, not a family man. Now I'm a family man. It's a difference.
Oh.
So I had to get my family in order.
Can you explain that?
Yeah, man with a family, just, brother, you got kids, wife, and you just doing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You just doing you.
How many of those we got out there? If you a man with a family.
Community was my mistress, and I was just doing the community work. You know what I'm saying? But now I realize, like, anytime I do something, I get my wife's opinion. I run it by her. She's not finding out an event I'm doing from social media like I used to do. Every once in a while I may slip. Like I got it all perfect. But
Can
for the
I
most
ask you
part,
how important you feel the black man in the household? How important that is to you?
Listen, black fathers.
And go as deep as you want to go, because I do believe that people should hear it from a man who's actually doing the work, like you say, because you can't speak if you haven't been in the fire, if you haven't actually experienced that. So
I'll tell you something personal. So when I was going through, facing a divorce in my marriage, one of the biggest things that kept me, I was like, I'm not leaving this home, is my children. I made a vow when I was a kid, when I used to watch, in awe of James, how he parent on Good Times, and, Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show, and Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince. I idolized. These was my dads. Carl Winslow on Family Matters.
Right.
I took a little bit, I guarantee you look at them dads, I took something from each one of them men that I put into my fatherhood today. I didn't have an example.
I love that.
So I had to learn from TV dads, right? And so from watching those TV dads, I made a vow. I said, God, if I can't even be married to my queen, I don't want no children. Number one. And once I got married, I made a vow. I'm never going to leave my wife. I'll always be married to Kendall. I'm not leaving. We get divorced because she left me. You just know that. Number two, I ain't going nowhere. Just telling you that right now. Not going nowhere.
You hear that, wifey? You see
I'm
what
not
you saying?
going nowhere.
See, I got your back.
I don't care what she do. Not leaving.
Not leaving. That's just okay.
Come to my children. No other man going to raise my children. I have 2 girls.
Ooh,
My job is to make sure my kids don't get molested, raped, abused. Not to say that can happen when fathers are around. It can. But my job is to just be as protective as I can, right? Because I know what it feel like to not have an active father.
Right.
So I just took that seriously. So time when my marriage was rocky, I was just like, I'm not going. I just kept seeing my kids' faces. They were so young at the time. I was like, if I leave right now, they don't even have a memory of me being in this home. I said, no, I'm not leaving. That's not happening. And so I fought. But they were part of it. They was the ammunition.
They were part of the fight.
100%. I'm not going nowhere. My wife know that. Even when they get 18,
this ain't going to be her first time hearing it, right, on this
Nah, well, yeah, in this way, yeah. But, yeah, this way. Because you asking me questions that you getting different type of answers. But no, because I took a vow. Yeah. My auntie told me years ago that her mother stayed in her marriage because she said, my mother said, I made a decision. See, we got to stop not taking our word. See, word is bond. I took vows saying for better or for worse. What the hell you think worse mean? Worse means worse.
It can't be picky on the worse.
Worse is worse. Worse is anything you can think of. Now, I'm not knocking people. Everybody got their line in the sand. But for me, I don't care what it is. I'm staying.
I love that.
Anything can be worked
that
out.
Is dope. Yeah.
Anything can be worked out. So I'm not going nowhere. I'm going when you look at my obituary, if I go before her, it's gonna say he leads the cherish, her name and my 2 kids. I'm not going nowhere.
Right. I love
because
that.
Anything can be worked out. Now I realize that I was part of the problem. See, a lot of times we don't want to look in the mirror. I had to accept I'm doing like this to myself. She wasn't just mad 'cause she just wanted to be mad. I wasn't home. I'm out there trying to fight the power.
Right.
So, I can't blame her for being upset. So I had to realize, no, she was like,
self-reflection.
I don't care what you've been a leader, but leave home sometime, right? All right, for sure. So, but I didn't know.
Right.
See, when you know better, you do better.
How important is the black woman in your home?
Super. My wife, that week she was gone, I sat on the balcony and I was looking at the stars like, ooh, I heard music playing like I was on 5 Heartbeats. Girl, I was a wreck. But it was fun because it let me know how intentional I need to be. Because when you got another parent, I play with my kids and my phone ring. I said, "Man, I'm so sorry. We've been playing phone tag. I got this contract. I got to lock in. Let me get this real quick." She could jump in. When she gone, I didn't have that.
Right.
So I had to realize I got a chance to really, because 7 days.
You got a chance to feel how
that was the longest she
single
was
mothers
gone.
feel.
So I got to see.
You got a week of a single
100%.
mother feeling.
And I don't want that life. I don't want to be a single person.
That is truly.
I love, and I'm a son of a
great
single
example,
mom.
yeah.
So I love single, and they're single fathers. Shout out to them. You love the single parent stepping up. I don't want that life, baby. That ain't for me.
Yeah.
I love having me a woman. You know what I'm saying?
And I value partnership, so it's beautiful to hear that you understand the value of the woman in the household.
And my wife understands my value.
Yes.
I'll be downstairs. Yes. Stoney. So I say, if she said her name one more time, I'm off this couch. Stoney, here come me walking up the stairs.
Yep.
I don't talk. She already know what that mean.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And then she screamed like she on fire, right? Keep it moving. Ain't no motion. Love on her. She's like, you can't pop her then hug her. Yes, I can. Because it wasn't personal. Anytime I'm not my best self, I don't never discipline my child. I say, Kendall, mentally, right now, I'm stressed. I got a lot going on.
Right.
Because I don't ever want to be moved out of anger of emotion. Right?
So
I don't
you
ever hurt my
practice
children.
soft parenting? Is that what it's called now? They call it soft parenting?
I practice regulated parenting.
Okay.
Just regulating your emotions.
Okay.
Understanding I believe there's a time to pop kids. We don't abuse them.
Yeah.
But we do have to pop them. If I keep telling you, stop getting by that candle, and you keep leaning by it, I'm going to pop your hand. I'm not going to say, well, don't move by the candle. No, because you can burn your hand. Now I got a CPS case. But you got to know how to do it. Some parents, because we so stressed, we let too much come out on them. So when I'm him, I work at a psych hospital. That's my day job. So every day I'm around people who talking to walls. Understand? So I understand what it means to come home and be like, yo, I'm spent. So when I have that type of day, I don't even deal with nobody. I said, man, I'm not really I need to regroup. You know what I'm saying? So that conversation, let's hold off on that because I don't want to be dismissive. But right now, I need to put the Parkers on for me. Give me the ho-ho cupcakes and my ginger ale. I gotta chill out.
You just gotta decompress.
You know what I'm saying? Decompress. So when she's like, babe, can you get? I said, Ken, I don't want to lash out on her. So let me regroup.
Right.
You know, so I don't lash out. So when I do get on this, because I'm at a place where I feel safe to do so. Because there's people who have cases not because they want to hurt their kids, they just let their emotion, that trauma, that stress, the best of them. We human.
And now they black. Yep.
So I don't want to ever put my children through that or my family through that. So I make sure I'm regulated. You know what I'm saying? My wife have heard me raise my voice at her one time in 8 years of marriage.
Wow.
I don't yell. When she stand up, I sit down. When she walk away, I don't chase behind her. When she take the keys, I don't fight her for the keys. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, emotional regulation. I was taught by some OGs years ago, two things that mess people up. Self-control and the little head, right? And that self-control can go into money, greed, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't let the little head make a fool out of the big head.
Yep.
So control your emotions, control your body, control your anger, control yourself. That's what we got to need and talk about. Discipline and self-control.
And what are some things that you did to work on that, though?
Fasting. I fast. I've been slipping a little bit lately, but I try to fast. And fasting could be meals. It could be 1 meal. I put a little weight on, but when I'm really disciplined at it, I go 2 days not eating. I try to do 1 meal a day. I got lazy. I'm not gonna lie because you just get comfortable. Like when you're feeling really good and happy, but I have to remember, keep doing the same routine you did don't get comfortable, right?
Right.
But that's some things part of my practice. Fasting, power of saying no. Saying no just because you can say no. Not every opportunity you got to jump on because it look good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If I genuinely felt like I just didn't want to do the podcast, I'd have been like, I appreciate but right now I'm in a season where I don't really feel comfortable talking on camera. I've done that.
Okay.
And be like, but respectfully, thank you for thinking of me. Can we either postpone? And I've done that a lot of times. And then people be like, don't worry about it. I'm sorry.
Is there a reason why you would?
I'm just not going to put myself out there knowing I'm not all good. I've done that.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? I've done that. Like I could talk about the mental health. It's been hard to do that when I was in myself and I'm holding back tears. I didn't have no emotion when we talked about it because I'm healed from it. right? But I'm not gonna put myself through that. You understand what I'm saying? And holding pain in, doing so it's just not fair, to waste your time or whoever the host time, knowing I'm not my full self. I'd rather be at home and regroup.
100%.
So if I'm not feeling it. Not all shows is meant for you to do. I gotta be in alignment. Not all opportunities good opportunities. See, my soul ain't for sale.
Yes.
And too many of us are pimping ourselves out. You your own pimp. Cause you just hustle. No. Brother, thank you for the invitation, but I'm gonna be home tonight. What you got plans? No, I don't wanna go out.
Right. Just
Put on Bernie Mac show. I'm gonna
right.
chill. We hate the word no. But no is self-control. We talk about holding people accountable. When the last time you heard yourself accountable? You said you had a goal you ain't met since Ike beat Tina. You talk about politician is what? You supposed to had a license 30 years ago. You've been in school in the same topic for 50 years. Teacher and died twice. You ain't got the degree yet. Hold you accountable, beloved. Accountability starts at home. You out marching in the streets talking about we need more, better time, better break time. You got that same book with the same bookmark, book and rusted and dusted.
Right.
So take care of that. Hold your word to you. If you can't honor your word, if you say you're going to the gym, go to that gym. If you say you're going to get up in the morning to do push-ups, do push-ups. Take care of your word. See, if you can't hold your word to you, I can't trust you that you can hold your word to me.
Right.
Hold your word. Word is bond. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you come, be on time. If you show up and show out. Be professional, be courteous, be polite, be kind. But those are things we have to teach.
Right. Yep.
If not, don't do it. Talking about they shouldn't have to wear bonnets at the college campus or let them wear bonnets. Listen, you want to be successful, dress like it.
Dress like it.
Take them bonnets off, do-rags off. I ain't saying you got to wear a suit every day.
Yes.
Put on a T-shirt, some jeans, some clean shoes, and keep it moving.
Right.
But don't come like you roll out of bed because clothes have energy. How you carry yourself lets me know a lot how you treat yourself.
Yes.
How can I trust you are the future leader of tomorrow and you don't have enough pride to put into
You're in
yourself?
the bonnet.
It don't take no money to get no clothes. I've been broke a lot of times and can go in Goodwill and come up with a whole outfit.
And I've noticed people take you more serious when you look up to par.
100%.
People take you more serious, not only just you look good, you smell good. They want to make sure that you care about you first before they even invest in you or even invest their time, money, or attention. You know what I mean?
There's no excuse.
So, yep.
You talking about you ain't got no clothes, but you got a new sack of weed.
Yeah. That's crazy. Priorities is all over the place.
You bought the new
All
Madden. You the
All
first
over the
one on the game system.
Right.
But you ain't got a collar shirt? It's excuses. We the only race that sets the standards for people that low. No other race think like that. Every other race understands there is a certain status and standard. Our babies are not trying because they don't think they have to try. All we care about is can you sing, can you dance, can you throw, can you catch?
Right. Because that's what we see on TV, you know?
100%.
And that's how a lot of parents are raising their kids, idolizing the things that they see on TV. I mean, the perfect example, you said, the Will Smith dad and on TV and film, you have these different people who may look like the person that you want to be like or you want to idolize. And it just happens because we don't protect our ear gates and our eye gates. We listen and take in a lot of things that we shouldn't, but there's no other outlet that some people may not even have. Like there's the less fortunate may not have an outlet to even just go to and say, hey, Minister Stretch, you're out in the streets, so you see these people. You see that there's a lot going on in the Vegas community, and there's a lot of the homeless that's going on, and it's increasing. And what do you take on that? Like how do we help the city of Vegas, as leaders in seeing what we see on a daily basis? People come here and they turn up, but they don't see the back streets of what we see.
Well, my encouragement to people, I stopped fussing years ago. I used to go off on the church, politicians. I stopped. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught clean glass versus the dirty glass. See, when I got knowledge of self, nobody told me to pull my pants up. I pulled my own pants up and got my own belt when my mind lifted, so did my pants. So I teach knowledge of self.
Okay.
So I don't fuss at nobody. I don't talk about what you're not doing, what you are doing. I just say, I encourage you to, number one, get a relationship with God. In addition, have knowledge of self. Because when you know who you really are, you will know what's missing in the community.
Yep. Yeah.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So have knowledge of self, because when you know yourself, you can love others. But you cannot love what you do not know. So you must first know thyself. Then once you know self, you can fall in love with self.
Right.
Regulate your emotions. Know your family background, family lineage. Know Ida B. Wells, Malcolm X, so on and so forth. That's all part of knowledge of self. Then you'll say, man, I love this history and culture. Then you become one with self, in love with self. Now you want for your brother or sister what you want for yourself. You're not jealous of Ty. You're not envious of Ty, because you're so in tune with self.
Yeah.
Right? And if you look at the word brother, in the word brother, it's other, is it not?
Yes. Yep.
So if I love my brother as myself, as the Bible says, how can I kill my brother? How can I hurt my brother when I see my brother as my second self? Now, the black woman is supposed to be the mother of civilization, is she not?
Yeah.
In the word mother is other.
Yeah.
If I view every black woman as my mother figure, I can't rape my mother. I can't call my mother a bee, a hoe, put my hands on her, because I see that woman. When I see my wife, I see God.
Yeah.
I see my mother, I see God. Women are God's second self, which is why he gave the woman the ability to produce life.
Yes.
How we have men dumping women in trash cans and abandoning them and kidnapping them. How we got men touching, molesting, abusing our young queens.
Wow.
How can you abuse your future, your present, and hurt the one that's bringing in life? How can we do that?
It's very contradicting.
But you say you love somebody. So love means you have to love all your people as your second self. And once you love them as your second self, now you want them to be successful. The moment your job open up, you on the phone. Hey, man, make sure y'all apply. You're not envious. See, out here, we like to see people do good but not better than us.
Yes. Yep.
Crabs in the bucket mentality. I want to see anybody in my camp, I want the whole team to win. Matter of fact, my prayer be, Lord, bless them before you bless me. Because if you bless them, I know I'm next up.
Yep.
Right?
God is in the room.
But we don't think that.
Yep.
I can't even, is the word jealous with a P or a L? I can't even spell the word jealous. Because I wasn't taught to be jealous. I was taught to be a congratulator, not a hater. Because when you know, ain't no need. Not to be arrogant, fly tie, but I know ministers. I can't lose what I got to choose. You know what I'm talking about? I still want to see you blow the fuse. You dig? So I've never been a hater. I've been a congratulator. I want to see the whole team win.
For real.
But that goes back again to loving yourself. So the issues in the community will all come together and come overnight. It'll clean up overnight with unity. Our unity can solve 99.9% of our problems if we just come together.
Yeah.
But not uniformity. Everybody ain't going to be a Christian. I'm sorry to bust your bubble.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't going to want to be an Israelite. Everybody ain't going to want to be in the nation. Everybody ain't going to want to be anything besides themselves.
Right.
But we can work together. They didn't ask Mike Brown, was he gay? Was he a Muslim? They saw black. And asked Sandra Bland what her affiliation, was she divine now? They don't care about them labels.
Right.
They saw the skin complexion.
Yes.
That should be enough for us to put down our petty differences, come together as a people, and make our communities decent and safe places to live. You mentioned earlier about the power and presence of the man in the home, the black man.
Yeah.
Well, we know the black man was removed strategically. Take the head, the body's gonna fall.
Yes.
So we got this movement courtesy to I Don't Want No Scrub and all these other songs teaching that we shouldn't have men around. Listen, now you ain't gotta get you a scrub, but don't put the power down of the presence of a man in the home. Or the community. See, the word father comes from the word, I'm sorry, I'm preaching.
No, do your thing, do your thing.
The word father comes from the word further. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It derives from the same place. A father's job is to take his family further. And a true father is a father to all children, not just your own. My daughters have to interact with other kids. Why would I not invest in other people if my kid has to one day go to school with these other kids? So I teach my children that now. My 5-year-old on the way to school, we give her affirmation, everything. Love others, show kindness to other kids, because not all kids got what you got in this house.
Right.
So it's important to understand, I bring discipline, I bring guidance, I bring love, I bring protection, but I'm gentle. Not gentle parenting, gentle spirit as a person.
Right.
Because what's inside will come out. See, who you are is when you get upset. That's what you got to work on. That's the true you. Who you are is when you get told no. Who you are is when you can't get your way. That's your true character.
Right.
So work on that. And so that's why we need more men in the home. The coldest number our enemy played on us was to teach us how to do their work. And part of it was, I'm going to make them kill themselves with us behind the trigger, without our hand being directly on it. And part of that trick bag was remove the man from the home.
Yep.
So it's power in that. It's power in us understanding that we need strong, and not just the home, because sometimes with the old school rhetoric, too many of our sisters was in relationships that was abusive, and they should have left a long time ago.
Yes.
So even though I'm telling people I'm gonna stick it out, you got to know where your line in the sand is. If it's abuse, any abuse, I would not recommend that.
Right.
But as long as y'all can still work in harmony and there's respect and love there, stick it out because your babies depend on it. But don't just care about your family. There's an African proverb that says, what's good for the family may not be good for community. But what's good for the community is good for the family and the community. People have killed in the name of, I got to feed my family. Rob in the name of, I have to feed my family. We got to care about the community. Your family is a part of the community.
Right.
And the word community is unity.
Yep.
So you have to have a unified body. Family is the cornerstone of community, but it's not just about you and yours. I hate when men be like, man, me and mine's good. But then when your son get by the police, you the first one crying.
Right.
Who gonna help my son? Where's Al Sharpton? It's like, hold on, you and yours good though.
Right.
See, if you get involved before it hits your neighbor, it never hits your home. We gotta stop waiting till it's a crisis in our home to call these organizations. Get involved now. Your school should know who you are.
Yeah.
All kids should know who you are and feel comfortable to know who you are. We got to get back to where the men got to step up and protect our families and community and where we can feel safe.
Yes.
That's what they got to get back to. I'm sorry.
I agree. I agree. That's a good word right there. I agree. I agree because
you got me, fam.
Not having my dad, I haven't had my dad for about a couple years, and then my dad and my mom got married, and I grew up in the two-family home, and I did see the younger Ty without the father and the structure in the home, and the Ty with the structure in the home. I'm who I am because of my dad. The structure that he implements in the household for his kids, and the way he structured his household, making my mom the queen.
Is he from Harlem?
No, my dad is from Brooklyn. My dad's from Brooklyn, but he's smooth though. My dad is DJ, he's a DJ in New York City. So
that's dope.
I watched him put my mom on a pedestal.
Wow.
So I always thought that's what men were supposed to do, and then when you grow up and you notice that, not every male figure is a man. And then you start to put things together, but then you realize that there are some good men out there.
Well, you know what the solution is, time for us to get the men to do better?
What you think?
Continue to point to our sisters. Ooh. See, the nation taught that a nation can't rise any higher than its woman. But the man bringing the nation down because we bringing the woman down. See, Malcolm X said, when you teach a man, teach an individual, teach a woman, teach a nation. We got to rise up the woman. Let the woman believe that you can do anything. Walk on water if you have to. We got to start empowering to our sisters. I love when I see women have these groups that's just for them, the black women, to grow and to express. Because the woman has been, as a collective, beat down so bad. Man has too. Brothers have trauma as well. We both been beat down. It's not a contest, but just talking about our sisters. They've been beat down and they've been disconnected from their womb and disconnected from their femininity as a woman, as a queen. The crown is on, but it's crooked. We got to get brothers to empower their sisters and let them know, hey, I love you the way you are. If you don't put on another lash, wig, I ain't judging, but you don't need it if you don't need it, right? I love you for you. Right. Got to pour power to our sisters. So I'm very passionate about parenting to the women because so many of our women have never been called queen. They don't know what it feel like for a man to just be nice without trying to get in their pants and just show them real respect, right? I don't want nothing from you.
Right. If
I see you out, and I remember I do this all the time. I go get gas at night. If it's a sister, I pull up, say, sister, listen, I'm not on no weird stuff, tell my name and everything, but that truck look kind of weird. I'm just going to post it, you get in your car. That's what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Letting sisters know I ain't on no weirdo stuff, but I don't want to read you on the headlines. Make sure you straight, right? Because I would die over a sister. I'm not. Before I see a sister get attacked, I would die at that gas station. I would. I lay my life down.
Right.
Because I couldn't live myself knowing I let this sister get attacked. You see big burly men recording sisters getting whooped by men in stores.
Right.
Sister, I got your back. It's okay. I got him on camera. Like, brother, if you don't put that camera down and get involved. But that's what we have got to. Our men have been reduced, and that's part of the trick bag, right? Is to reduce our community to the lowest totem pole. So now we hate what we should love, and we love what we should hate.
It's just crazy.
We've been confused to believe that it's normal to hate each other, and it's not.
Do you think that it's a social media thing? Do you think that it's a media thing? Or do you think that it's a household upbringing type of...
It's a us thing. I'm not black. Social media, to me, that's a cop-out. It's like that's like saying guns kill people. People kill people.
Right.
With guns.
Exactly.
You know, social media, we act like that's a robot. It's you mofos only doing it.
Right, exactly.
It's social media. Who you think typing on social media? It's people, right? So, yeah, it's a platform that's part of propaganda, but we got to stop doing it. It's a us problem.
Right.
But, again, isn't it interesting? If I made a record right now talking about killing white folks, it wouldn't even hit the air. We could make records talking, glorifying drugs, the worst things of the worst in our community, and it gets financed. It gets promoted. It gets pushed. We got to stop supporting that. If these artists not doing music that's going to promote us in a positive light, man, we got to listen, brother. With all due respect, these youngsters want to be like you. They want to be like me. They want to be like you. Your music is getting us sent down a rabbit hole. So that's my, I know everybody ain't ready for that type of revolution.
Yeah, because it's something for someone, and because I feel like America is business drone, business, directed.
Music has power though.
And music does have power, and music sells as well, and just like sex sells. I think when we start to see that things start to accumulate more money, we tend to flock to that instead of actually looking at the severity of the situation, and saying, thought this or bitch this or that. We're not thinking because it's entertaining, but going far away from the entertainment part. Like, just because it's negative, why is it entertaining because it's negative, or is it entertaining because you actually like to watch sports, for example? Sports is entertaining, but now we have this generation that is like, everything that I see on TV outside of sports, I don't even think some kids actually really enjoy the sports like how back in the day sports was like a big thing. Yeah. Now it's more so the technology and the scrolling and the entertainment has shifted. And yes, we do have control as adults, but there's also young kids making music too. Yeah.
And I'm all in favor of people be artists, but the artists have to realize there's a responsibility with artistry.
Yes, it is.
And we have to figure out ways to have edutainment.
Yes.
Entertainment with education. We don't have the luxury. See, 20, 30 years ago, we was a different kind of community. We ain't got the luxury today to just say, well, we can just do certain things. We need to go down back and get back to the basics because if you look at every category, black people are at the bottom of the barrel. We're losing.
Yes, we are.
I don't want to keep reading about no more people under 18 that look like you and I who losing their lives to the penitentiary, to the graveyard. We got to stop that. We have to ban and abolish black murder. It's time out on us murdering each other, whether it be by the gun,
something with black,
the stabbing, or murder by mouth. We kill each other every day just by our attitude and behavior. So somebody got to stop by and raise up the black man and black woman. I'm honored to be one of the ones.
Right, and one of these, and myself included, on the financial side and helping individuals understand that having multiple streams of income is also going to be important when you are fighting these fights, when you are walking these walks, when you are talking the talk, because at some point you're going to reach a deadline where you're going to reach a door where that it won't open because you're not financially equipped to walk through that door. Right. So being able to teach our youth, our black youth, how to financially secure their future is important for me, because I've noticed that we've been doing the walks and the fights, but I also noticed that sometimes we can't get in because we don't read enough and we don't understand financial literacy, and they do. And they can be anyone, outside of who we are.
Well, black power and no green power is no power.
Yes.
So at some point, I'm not a capitalist, I don't believe in capitalism. I do believe in self-sufficiency. I believe in do for self. I believe in being economically empowered, because when they say money don't buy happiness, neither is being broke.
Yes.
Been broke a long time. If money don't make you happy, broke show enough don't make you happy.
Yep.
So I would take my chances.
Money's up there with oxygen. I'm telling y'all. It's just as important as oxygen.
The Bible says
you need it.
We misquote this, but the Bible says not money rooted evil, the love of money. We got to stop being in love with money.
Yes.
Stop being in love with these European brands that don't make you, don't invest in you, things that don't matter. Because when there's nothing inside, you try to fill it with those internal, external material things. I love looking nice. Ain't nothing wrong with a couple of brands, but don't just think that name brand has to be a European brand.
Right.
That's what they told you. It's 100 black-owned brand, clothing brands, shoe brands, phone brands. So invest into your own. So I love that you are a person that teaches us financial wealth because we need that. We need to understand it's nothing wrong with wanting to have the best of the best to afford a good life for you and your family.
Yes.
We punish each other for that. We talk about get on, and then we get on. You're like, oh, you sold out. No, we want to teach that ain't nothing cool about being broke.
Right.
Because again, poverty produces crime.
Yes, it
People
does.
ain't robbing because they just, I love to rob. Man, what you do? I love to rob, brother. People are robbing out of survival.
Right.
So
we just need an outlet. We just need an outlet. We just need a resource. We just need a leader. And this is why we're on this couch, because we are the outlet, the source, if you want to say the plug, whichever one, however you want to reference it. People like yourself, people like myself, we in these positions and staying in our lane for reasons because we understand that what we contribute to the community is effective. And we need to also lead adults to do the same thing that we're doing as well, because again, like you said, the youth, they're getting it from somewhere, and if they're not getting it, whether it's the education of being financially equipped to go to day-to-day life, whether it's them leading and being able to know that their voice matters and that they should speak up, we still have to figure out as leaders, how can we equip our adults to start that? Because we can't knock on every door. We can't be in every home, but how do we reach the masses? Like you and I, like how do we reach the masses to get the point across without it being either confrontational or debatable, because it's like every time we decide to want to do something for our community, other race feels like it's a race thing. But while we can't help our community, just like, other programs and people and leaders and things like that, it just seems like when the black starts to help our own people, it seems as if there's always a race card being pulled, and it's just really us wanting to excel and put our people in positions of power, and so that way we can be protected fully. So what are your take on just being able to mentor not only just not kids but more so adults, and putting adults in the right position for them to pass it down to the household? Like what?
So I think that leaders are for sure made, but leaders are born. It all starts with your upbringing. We can cultivate leaders. We can groom leaders. We can teach people how to be leaders. Many are called, few are chosen, some just go.
Yes.
I didn't just go. I was called, but I believe that the direction we're going as a people, I think it's better than we're getting credit, because we have access. We have access to Big Moves podcast, Earn Your Leisure, so many things that's teaching these things. Yes. It's no longer an excuse to be ignorant.
Yes.
You can learn these things. You can get in a book, audio book. I prefer physical books, but it's out there. So we just got to go get it.
Right.
And we have to, again, meet people where they are. Everybody's not going to wake up at the same time you woke up.
Right.
So give people grace. That's why I stopped fussing like I did. I hold people accountable now. There's some people that got to step their game up. It's to the point where it's like, bro, what we on? But most of us, we just still on our journey.
Right.
I can't throw no stones. I'm in a glass house too. Right? So I give people grace. In due time, we will get where we need to be. As far as Black Las Vegas is concerned, the first black couple moved to Las Vegas in 1907, John and Margaret Belverton. It was other blacks that came here during the railroad in 1905 when the city was founded. But 1907, that couple stayed and made it a permanent home. Margaret dies in 1922. John dies in 1940. After them, several black families moved here. We don't get NAACP in Las Vegas to 1928. 1931 was when we have our first real movement with blacks trying to fight for jobs on the Hoover Dam. A brother by the name of Arthur McCants is leading that charge as the president of NAACP. That's our first wave of leadership. A.B. Mitchell, Arthur McCants, Clarence Ray. These were leaders at that time in the late 20s. Our second wave of leadership, we get the Woodrow Wilsons. We get the Bob Baileys. We get the Mary Wesleys, the Ruby Duncans, Aversa Bills, Essie Henderosa. We get that generation. That's 2 generations of leadership. Third generation leadership, we get our Wendell P. Williams. We get our Frank Hawkins. I'm thinking Gene Collins, throw him with Ruby, with second generation. But this third, Frank Hawkins, who I say before I say Frank? Frank Hawkins, Sweet Lou Collins, Lawrence Weekly, we get that generation, right? That's 3. 4th generation, you get me. We get the New Eras, Community Crusaders, Quentin Savoy, Dr. Liz, that generation, William McCurdy. We're only 4 generations in the black leadership.
Wow.
So put that in perspective. When we so hard on Black Vegas, we're new here, y'all.
Yeah.
Right? On the 1850 census in Chicago, there were hundreds of black people that came as free black folks. 1850. In 1850, it wasn't probably a pedal here, right? So again, the city is still new. We don't even get the boom of Black Vegas into the 40s with the migration from Fordyce, Arkansas into Louisiana when they built the BMI plant to build the bombs for the war. So by 1940 to 1950, the black population boomed by 10,000 people. So we got to give the city grace that it's still new.
Right.
It's still growing. So that's why I'm not as hard, because I know the history now. I understand why we are where we are.
Okay.
But I'm not going to keep talking about who ain't doing. Just watch me work.
Right.
Simple as that.
And we gonna end it with that. Just watch him work. And guys, I'm excited to have you here. I'm blessed and honored to have you here, because you also, install some wisdom for me, and also some knowledge, and for me to take home and apply. So it's not all about just taking all of the knowledge. Make sure you apply it. Make sure it's beneficial to your household, and take bits and pieces of what you see on this podcast. Not everything I say or Minister Stretch is going to say that's going to maybe, affect you. But if it did, my advice to you guys is to just take this information, do something with it, impact someone that's around you, and also your neighbor, Make sure that you are actually a community leader. And if you're not a community leader, just still lead in your own right, So Minister Stretch, do you want to give them your social media, how people can get in touch with you and just be a part of what you got going on? Like, where can we find you?
So Instagram, we have Community Crusaders LV, the Stretch for Change Foundation, Stretch for Change Foundation, also on Instagram. Minister Stretch Sanders on all platforms. Minister Stretch Sanders, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. My office is in the streets. I'm not hard to find, And in closing, I want to encourage somebody, whoever's hearing my voice, to know, because I always like to end on this note, because we talk about leadership and all that, but when it's all said and done, people are trying to fight to be their best version of themselves. Whoever's listening, I want you to know, no matter what you're going through, you can get through it. I bear witness. You can get lifted out of the condition, depression, suicidal thoughts, low self-esteem. You can make it. I don't care how hard it is. You can sleep on the floor. You can sleep in your car, but you can still make it. You just have to continue to keep hope. Because the moment you give up hope, you give up life. So it was Jesse that said, if you can keep hoping, you can keep hopping. Marion Barry say best, I'm going to clean on this note. If you're going to fall on your back. If you can look up, you can get up. God bless.
Ooh, wow. Big Moves Podcast with your host, FlyTyThePromoter. And we bring the realest, the trillest, and those who are an effective person in the community. So if you are one of those individuals, please contact me so we can get you in the seat with us on Big Moves Podcast. Y'all have a blessed one on purpose.